Now, next let's turn to a developing story connected to that Christmas party in Downing Street last December. We've talked about it a lot on Outside Source. Well, a video recording leaked to ITV News shows senior staff joking about holding a party in number 10 4 days after the event took place. Well, let's bring in the BBC's Helen Katz, who's live with us from Westminster. Helen, what do we see in the video?
So this video is what appears to be a sort of practice press conference, a dry run, if you like, for the woman who had just been appointed the Prime Minister's press secretary, Allegra Stratton. So she is in that briefing room that we've got used to seeing from the press conferences with the sort of blue and brown backdrop. And there are, in the audience, members of the number 10 staff pretending to be journalists and asking the sort of questions that journalists would be likely to ask the press secretary. Now, one of the questions that's asked by one of the Prime Minister's aides in the audience here is, I've seen reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street party on Friday night. Do you recognise those reports? Now, Allegra Stratton laughs. She says, I went home. Hold on. She ums and ahs for a bit. And then she's asked, well, would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas party? She laughs again and says, what's the answer?
And this is a story that's not going away for the government, Helen. I think we're 8 days into it.
Yeah, it is, and the reason this video, of course, it's it's a fictional scenario, it's a pretend press conference. But one of the notable things here is that this happened on the 22nd of December, Tuesday, the 22nd of December. This sort of practice press conference. The date that this party is said to have happened in number 10 was the 18th of December, which would have been the Friday night before that. So the dates sort of match up. They do match up. So that's sort of one of the issues that's come out of the release of this video. The other thing is that, the BBC spoke to somebody earlier this month who said they were at this party, that there had been drinks and food and there were several dozen people there. So, there have been people who said they were at a party. Downing Street has consistently denied that any COVID rules were broken. They have come back to us after the release of this video this evening and again said there was no Christmas party, that COVID rules have been followed at all times. And of course, the sort of bigger issue around all of this is that parties at that time were banned.
Just finally, a side issue, I know, but it's worth pointing out that the type of briefing that they were rehearsing for actually ended up not happening. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. As I said, Allegra Stratton had just been appointed the Prime Minister's press secretary, and the idea was that there were going to be these sort of televised briefings like they do in the US with the White House. But actually, that was then dropped, and Allegra Stratton sort of moved from that role a few months later to become the press secretary for the COP26 climate summit instead. So you're right that the original plan for those sort of briefings never actually happened.
OK, Helen, thanks for the full update. Live with us from Westminster.